Hello there. My name is Marcus Christopher Lee Tetweiler. At the Winolo company, I am an enterprise account director on the sales team, and I live in Santa Monica, California. What events in my life have brought me to my current role today? This will be a little bit of a longer answer, but I'm going to try to be brief. Thank you, people team, for asking a really good question on these. Firstly, number one spot here, top seed is FOE. FOE stands for family over everything. I am I've benefited from my family and the environment, and also the friends and the people in my life that I've been so blessed to grow up around. Wouldn't be here without that network. Definitely wouldn't be here without my family. So shout out to everyone. If anyone actually watches this, you probably know who you are. Thinking about this question specific to career and specific to the role, bear with me as I kind of show the start of my journey and then level two and then where I am today. It really comes down to two themes for me: conviction and execution. I've learned over my time that strategy, or like having the idea, is really a commodity, and that execution is the art. And execution as an art is something that I learned at university when I was elected to be the student body president, presiding over 26,000 students across the entire university. We had a proper budget. We had a team of 10 people that were on payroll. We had a full-time number of staffed positions across the university. It was a proper $26 million P&L budget that I was the sole proprietor of ultimately in my role. We assisted in providing legal services to students and providing LGBTQ services to students. I learned how to basically, in order to get that job, I learned how to sell an idea in three parts: communicating a clear before and after story. It's important. Communicating how do we get there? Plan. And then ultimately being responsible for managing and executing to deliver the results that were sold. That building block was really, really important. And it also taught me about what is my capacity to do, because that job was a lot. It was very, very busy. It was very, very intense. There were trips to DC, there were trips across the country, all while also being a student. It was a lot, but it taught me what I could do and what I could contribute at a high level. Stepping into the sales world, I continued to open and look to service. There's life outside of work that fuels performance. One example of that, one highlight that really stands out to me, when I was at Storybox learning and getting beat over the head with challenges of an early sales career, I want to shout out my first CEO, Justin Nasiri. He's a former commander from the Navy who served on nuclear submarines, and he taught me a lot about accountability. He taught me a lot about goal setting, and he taught me a lot about execution and how to deliver the results and what it needs and what it means to roll up the sleeves to just get it done. While we were in that orbit and working so hard and learning day in, day out, I stepped outside and was able to sign up, and I was a blind match with a patient who had leukemia, and I was able to do a bone marrow transfusion. And I remember coming into the office 6 a.m., 6:30, getting the shots in the arm, preparing my body for a bone marrow transfusion, all while in between those shots, working and hitting my goals, while also fulfilling and going after that service element that is so important to me in my life. That patient, who is a blind match, who I've never met, received my bone marrow. And as a Texan, I'm happy to say that this individual now enjoys EDM music and probably votes Democrat if my DNA has anything to do with it. I've been with the Winolo company for a number of years. There's a lot of stories Winolo related to where I am today. I love the more complex, more interesting, more challenging elements of our business. Our CEO, Young Kim, I think he identified that in me early. He assigned me to a project for the Coca-Cola company within just my first 6 months of being with Winolo. Coca-Cola is still an important strategic partner of Winolo's today. Little things along the way where you step outside of your number and you're able to deliver and provide service and value to the company, the startup within the startup. That's the mentality that got me here. Who do I look up to and why do I look up to them? Good question. I look up to Young Kim, Lori Macias, and Kevin Ori. My leaders are the type of leaders that you would roll your sleeves up and go to battle with. Day in, day out, no ifs, no ands, no buts. In half a decade, not one time having a second guess or a second thought or an idea in the back of my mind that these aren't the leaders that are bringing out the best in me. That's pretty incredible. As someone who aspires to leadership, there's been so much that I've learned from the leaders that are ahead of me. It's been an incredible ride, and these three are the reason that I am where I am at Winolo today. I will always be loyal and appreciative to these three for their help throughout the years. And no idea if they're going to see this or not, but if they do, there's always been that conversation of, sweat, equity, and time, and resting, investing, and all of that noise. Set that aside. These three I consider family, and blood means a lot, and these three are real ones. And no matter where the future holds and what comes next, I know that in personal life and in business and in overall just interest, I'm so excited to see where these three go and what these three do. That starts with Young Kim and the entire Winolo culture that surrounds it. But for me and my role, Young, Lori, and Kevin they're the real ones, and really appreciate them. It's been really amazing working with them for the last 5 years. What is one of my favorite memories at Winolo? Loaded question. There's so many. It's been great. There's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of work. We've been through a lot of offices, now no office, which is great. And everything's been really, really good. Keeping it focused. There's a lot of stories to share, but one quick one without sharing names. I remember hiring and being a part of the hiring committee for a very important candidate, mission critical. During that candidate's on-site, my co-manager and we were multitasking, busy. We had calls, we had meetings, we had things going on. When you're wearing lots of hats, and this was before we would have had recruiting teams or anyone that was, helping us stay on task. We had an hour on-site coming up any minute, and we were multitasking. Hey, do you have anything planned for this? No, not really. Do you have anything planned for this? No, not really. What do you have to do today? What are you working on? Well, I've got this really important call I need to make, need to lock this contract down. Hey, me too. I need to go through and do like a quick, demonstration. Maybe I'll be able to get a client locked down today as well. Well, maybe we just take 30 minutes on one customer call and 30 minutes on the next customer call, and give this candidate the opportunity to hear firsthand how the Winolo pitch goes and hear from the customers' voices themselves, and just sit in on a couple of customer conversations. So that was what we did, and it worked. We actually went 2 for 2 in that interview, and we signed both of those customers right there. And the candidate, I think, was impressed. The candidate went on to accept the job, and that candidate is still with Winolo today, playing in what I would consider our most mission critical role. Looking back on it, it's one of my favorite memories, because knowing what I know about a 33%, closed won kind of conversion rate for opportunities that we've held at Winolo for a while now, that could have gone terribly, but it worked out, and it's an amazing story, and I look back fondly on it. Startup hustle, a little disorganized, a little last minute, running out of time, but made it work. That is kind of the name of the game, and it makes me smile to think about it. I don't know why this was the story I went with, but it was top of mind for me today. If you really knew me, you would know that the version of me that you see in the office or in the work, in the Zoom, is just a small sliver, one small piece. That's all, folks. Thanks to the Winolo people team for creating this opportunity to speak and to share. I really appreciate it. Hopefully someone gets some value out of this. And if you like it, please follow the Winolo Company on LinkedIn, follow the Winolo Company on Twitter, follow along with us. I know that this series is something that's ongoing. I'm sure that there's going to be more fun and more interesting stories from other Winolo whammies to follow. So stay tuned in, and there'll be more like this to come. And you can follow whether through the website or on LinkedIn. Stay in touch. Thanks so much. Cheers.